student from Xiaoquan Government Secondary School, and I also have a great passion in scientific investigation and hope to explore more in this aspect. Thank you.
Thank you for introducing yourself. And since we have a very diverse backgrounds of our panelists, so I'm going to ask you different questions from different perspectives. So maybe I'll start by asking Professor Chia, looking back and also forward, what scientific achievements you think of the past decade will most influence priorities for the next 10 years?
Gosh, that's a very profound question. So you're asking me actually, what do I think is one of the important advances recent up to now, and how would that impact on the future,
yes.
Right? So there are so many major discoveries, one of which is, of course, we know the genome has been sequenced for many years, but functionalizing the meaning of the genome, I think we're just beginning to start to do this, and understanding how the genome translates to the protein, and with the development of tools like AlphaFold, I think is going to change a lot about how we might see how the genome is functional. And then also how the genome is actually regulated, because that's really important. The application of that to many diseases will be incredibly important. The second thing, of course, is our ability to manipulate the genome. So we all know about CRISPR. Even a businessman knows about CRISPR. But I think the discovery of CRISPR emphasizes two important things, and that is that one should study a problem without thinking about what might be the translation. Because I think the original work on CRISPR was because of an innate curiosity about how bacteria had their immune system, and nothing to do with what you could do with it. But then, of course, what happened is the ability to manipulate genomes. And this, I think, will influence the future because now you could use it for good. And I emphasize the use of the word good. So you and edit genomes for therapy. But of course, amongst all of this raises the very important issue that we should think about, and that is the ethical issues that arise from the power of technology that we develop. And then the third thing, I guess, everybody's been mentioning AI. And so a combination of AI with those technologies might mean that in the future, we could try to make organs without making use of animals as for transplant, for example, and might make use of AI to screen for genetic variations. For example, I'm interested in that because that's my area. And what combination might actually predict whether or not you will develop a particular disorder earlier or later or whatever. And so those are just a few things. There's actually many more. Engineering, maths, very important. But since I don't understand maths too much, I mean, I'm not good at maths, so, but I know that mathematics is now becoming extremely important in its contribution. So that's just a little bit of what I think is not everything, I think, that will influence the future. So.
Thank you. So this is looking back and forward. Next, with Carmen, we'd like to ask you about some cross-generational perspectives on, for example, how you think can senior academicians, young scientists, including postdocs, and students can collaborate to accelerate scientific progress. What can we do together to facilitate that?
Thank you, Anderson. I think this is a great question. So I think there are two key points. Number one is common interest. Like, we have to identify the seniors with common interest with you, research interest. And then second is mutual understanding, understand each other's needs, and always achieve a win-win situation. Yeah, and I think those are the key points. Now, I will start from talking about like my experience as a student, right? So I think it's better to equip yourself with the basic knowledge, work hard in the lab, and get yourself trained with different skill sets, including experimental skill sets, and importantly, independent thinking. For you to start your research independently. And as a young scientist, like at postdoc level, try to be helpful and try to involve in the work of others and be collaborative, and not to be self-contained with your own world, own research. Try to talk to people. And I think importantly, as a senior professors or like you need to enable, like empower other people and helping other to tell the juniors where their opportunities are, and also help them with their academic ladder, and try to think for them and also find successor for yourself. And I think it would be very rewarding not only to succeed by yourself, but seeing your trainees also being successful. I think this is my key to different collaboration with the mindset. I think collaborative mindsets, respect and mutual understanding. I think every collaboration would be very fruitful. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Carmen. So I think, Chair, as Carmen mentioned about how postdocs may benefit from interacting with senior academicians and senior professors, how do you feel about Carmen's answer? And also, I think, as a young scientist in medicine, how do you envision maybe advice like that can help you maybe bridge the gap between academic research and real-world healthcare application in the next decade?
Thank you for the question. If I don't agree with Carmen, I wouldn't have been here. And she didn't just say it; she do it as a role model. So that's how much I agree with it. So for that question on how to bridge the gap between research and the real world application in the future, I think there are three main key points. The first one is to ask translationable questions, which is many of us are trying to address this right now. So we take patients or their life and their output as our priority, and then starting to address these questions. So we should continue doing that. Secondly, is to make good use of technology. So right now, from 10 years ago, maybe there are not as much of the multiomics platforms, patient databases. So the younger generations, we should really make ourselves aware of the technology and how we can utilize them for our research. And finally is, as mentioned by the previous sessions, multidisciplinary collaboration. So for the real world application, definitely involves collaboration between not just clinicians, engineers, data scientists, computer scientists, and researchers. And we should not just keep ourselves in the lab. We should communicate more and be more open-minded to collaborate. And I think that's the way to move things faster, clinical trials faster towards real-world application.
Thank you, Chair. So with Ziyan, I first have to declare conflict of interest. She is from a secondary school that is also my alma mater. So the school tie and the uniform looks very familiar. So good to meet you. And I think Ziyan is also one of the mentees in our Distinguished Master Accomplished Students program. So we are very fortunate to have a lot of very keen and motivated students being mentored by our both Young Academy and Academy members. I think it's our privilege, much more than their opportunities, because we learn a lot from interacting with them. So good to have you here, Ziyan.
Thank you very much.
I guess today, and also just now, you've heard a lot of big words. Multidisciplinary research, translational research, the fundamental research, impact, etc. So how do you think about this? And also maybe you can speak also on behalf of your classmates and friends as secondary school students. Would these be sometimes a bit overwhelming. How can we do better in connecting better with you guys?
First, thank you for your question. And of course, today I've heard a lot of big words that I truly believe I'm gonna listen it maybe in the course of university. And to me, I think today I've heard these words. It gives me a signal that maybe I should have action, or I should take action to know more about on this world. Like nowadays, AI is very advanced, and we have to, in order to step into the pace, we have to know everything. Like we have to be open-minded. We have to look onto a lot of questions. So that's why I don't think it's overwhelming to hear big words, because this gives us a signal that it reminds us, it's time that we have to explore more, to open our mind to explore this world. And according to your questions, how to connect with us, I think like families and schools is a very significant figure. And because my first initial explore to science is from my family, because a couple of them are teachers. And also, like just Professor Sum has said, that I have participated in the mentorship program, which is given by the chancellor of my school. And my school have provide us a lot of hands-on activities and give us a vast experience to investigate the exposure. So that's why, in my perspective, to bridge a connection between students and science investigation, I think families and teachers in schools, they can promote more activities, and not like always like speech or exhibitions, but I think most important is open students' mind, to let them know that you should explore this world more and open your.
Thank you. And I think maybe I'll just have one follow-up question. Since you mentioned AI, and probably our younger generation is maybe using AI maybe more creatively than we do. So what's your take, and how do you use AI to facilitate your science education, and also maybe your education in general? Do you use AI?
Yes, definitely. I think everybody, over 90% in this hall, uses AI, because it's like just a big brain that it gives you a lot of information that I don't even know. But the advance of AI, of course, there are pros and cons. Of course, the advantage is we can attach and explore more and more information, but is those information really correct or wrong? I think this is what I really want to discuss today, is link back to the science knowledge. I think the most significant thing is students do understand the core value and ideas of science, because we learn science, we learn about critical thinking, we learn about curiosity. Because we have curiosity, we are eager to find a lot of answers of different questions. But in this processes, I think we should have these skills to determine whether the information is right or wrong. And also, this doesn't only apply on science students, because every person, I mean, in this society, not even the youngers or elderly, if they all use AI, they should have these skills, because this is what they will attach to information, whether it's fake, whether it's real. So that's why I think, this is the very important thing that everybody should learn about.
I see. So I think when I wore that school tie, I thought science was interesting, but it's more for curiosity. It's more for as a hobby. It's more about learning something cool, so I can brag to my mom and something I know. But now science and technology has seemed to have taken this center stage. economic driver, geopolitics. It seems so many things about science, technology, innovation. So it seems that to students, to young people, science and technology, the meaning may be a bit different from that in the past. So let me go back to Kathy, who may have more experience to share than some of us. So in view of that, how do you think, or what role do you think Hong Kong should play internationally with our partners in advancing science for societal impact, given how science and technology has taken a slightly different meaning nowadays than maybe in the past in Hong Kong?
That's very difficult. I guess, I mean, you have and others have made the point that Hong Kong has an important role as a connector with many different places in the world. But I'd like to think that one should be more than a connector, because a connector means that people just pass through, information just pass through. So ask the question critically, what will our impact be if we were just a connector, right? And I think that, of course, we can make the use of the fact that geographically we're in a very good place. And I think that was one of the arguments I made to bring a very major conference to Hong Kong. However, I think we should exploit that in that when you're traveling, you travel through a place, but it's important to make a stop. So can we have a scenario where we are selling ourselves as the connector, but in your traveling between one place and the next, you make a stop? And so therefore, I think Hong Kong should become not only just a bridge, but it should be a stopping place where real innovative research can be done. We can really make an impact. The advice that we give to our local government may have an impact on the direction in which the rest of the generations, I mean, actually there are many students here. So we want to inspire them, we want to make them want to take up a scientific career perhaps. But then, you know, if we want to do that, then they should make a contribution to not only to what Hong Kong produces, but that would have an impact internationally. So I don't think we should just be a connector. That's a short answer.
So besides being a connector, we should also be a value adder. I think that's also one of the things.
No, not a value adder. A value adder means somebody's already got the value and we just add it to it.
Innovator.
You need to be an innovator. You need to be creating discovery, making discoveries.
New creator.
No, an initiator.
Yeah. Great. So I think Kathy talked about the point of Hong Kong doing better than just being a connector. That's more of a geographical connector. So let me go to Carmen. As young scientists, just building on Kathy's point, what do you think we can do to be doing better than just a generational connector between our younger scientists and less young scientists?
Yeah, I can agree with more for Kathy's comment. We definitely not only the bridge. We have we have to be ambitious. And I think we are at the best moment ever since we have all the senior scientists who paved the road for us. And we are at the very good time with funding support from the government. We have the ideas. We want to be the next Dennis Low. All right. So at least if we have to aim high, but eventually, even we can't reach our final goal as we aspire, but we have to aim high, and take our geographical advantage and also funding advantage. For now, I think we're we are way better than many other places which lack funding right now. We all know that we're lucky. So work hard and aim high. Yeah, that's my comment. Yeah.
Thank you, Carmen. So I think as young scientists, maybe at the postdoctoral stage, we look to the next steps, what we want to do after the postdoc. I think in the past, when scientific careers have less possible directions, it's easier to decide. You can just follow your supervisor's footstep, follow your predecessor's footstep. But now scientific careers have so many different directions and possibilities. So how do you think that impact young scientists like you at the postdoctoral stage that you'd like to share with us?
I would say one should reflect on your interests, because I find I have talked to a lot of people that started their own company after their postgraduate studies, or they have completely switched their path because they realize that research is not for them. So for me at least, I constantly reflect on myself, asking myself if I really want to continue in research. And that helps me make a good decision on whether or not staying in the research field is for me. I think the last session we talked about screening out some people that are not suitable as scientists. I think these are the opportunities that allows people that find themselves not that suitable for research to find a better path for themselves. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why I feel like science. Anyone that does a postgraduate studies have way more opportunities right now partially involved in science, fully involved in science, or totally not involved in science, but those skill sets follow them forever.
So Chair mentioned about the importance of interest in this ever-changing environment, and I guess if you have real interest, then you can stick with it and you can be committed to it, and the chance of success would be higher. And talking about interests, Yan, I think maybe in our generation, or even a little bit after our generations, in Hong Kong, science may not be the most popular subject, not among the, I'm not talking about among the students, I'm talking about among the parents. So I think in the past, a lot of the parents would be hoping that their children may be pursuing something else, like maybe being medical doctors in finance, business, etc. So as a student now, do you sense any change in that? Are parents more receptive, or you think if you are really interested in science, you have to go through your parents as possible opposer to that?
So thank you for your question. Yes, as the society change and with the advance of AI technology, I think now more and more students, maybe they would choose computer ICT programming, because let's not talk about the reasons, okay? But yeah, but also a large portion of students may choose doctor, and also some of the parents' mindset, they might change. They would think that now as everything is popular with AI technology, everything needs computer. Why don't you study computer or programming something? But I think in my perspective, I encourage students, just what Professor said, take a pause, like think about what you really want. I think beneath on like materials attractions, I think your dream and your pursuit, what you're really looking for, is more important than materials attraction, like everybody knows. So that's why even when other people have tell you that which path is more suitable than you, or which path is the more popular, I think you have to be yourself. You, like, just like science tell us, you have to be open-minded. You cannot just follow the trend because what people tell you to do. You have to have your own decision. Maybe things said by other people, there's some right, there's wrong, but I think the most important thing is you have to have confidence in yourself. Believe that you can do this. No matter is programming, actor, doctor, everything can be possible, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. So since you have 3 generations on stage like before you, do you want to ask any of them any question?
Yeah, I do have a question I want to ask. Yeah, let's go back to the advanced AI technology, like just what Professor Sam had said, that more and more people use AI. I think every student will attach in this aspect. So how are we gonna effectively use AI, and as a student, as an elite for this world or society or for our countries, how do we keep our competitiveness?
Anyone wants to start?
Well, I think, the dangers of AI is that it might make you lazy, and it might actually inhibit your learning as a student, because you might put in the question, get the answer, use the answer for your homework, and then you haven't learned anything because you actually haven't gone and done the research to find the answer, right? So there are 2 things I think about AI. Is first of all, learning how to phrase the question, and then so you learn something from how you make the question. Then when you get the answer, I think as you said, we have to make sure that this is accurate, because a lot of time AI gives you imaginary answers. And so you need, I think then you get training in being able to determine, to check up to see whether it's real or not. But the other thing that I think that AI can help is it can help you to discover things that you were not interested in before. That is to say, it might help you to look for something you're not looking for. And to me, that is actually the most important factor in serendipity in making a discovery. So maybe if you use AI and make use of what it gives you to recognize that you've got something that you weren't looking for, that might actually help you a lot.
Thank you.
Maybe I can add like a little bit of comments. So I think a lot of people are talking about AI, right? How I think AI is a tool, but it cannot replace scientists. And in order to be competitive, you need to have the persistence and perseverance. Say AI, if you have a negative result, AI would say, okay, plan B, give up this plan. But the most important discoveries are from serendipity, as mentioned, like the discovery of plasma DNA, fetal DNA. If we just give up and just listen to AI's comments, suggestions, then probably we will not have important discoveries. So I think the scientists are crucial for important discoveries in the decades, in the years to come. This will remain as it is, but we need to leverage, the advantage of AI, but it cannot replace scientists. And in order to be competitive, be persistent in a smart way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I agree with the 2 professors. I think just because I come from the transitional generation between not having AI to having AI, that's why for me, I am quite conscious about reading the information from AI. I think the younger students, like a primary school or secondary school students, they're in much challenging position where they had to filter what is right and what is wrong. And educational institutions plays a very important role in educating them to make sure that they are aware of this and to make the best use of it. And because of this possibility, I think if you keep yourself accountable, you make a right use of AI, that makes you stand out from the other people that just blindly use AI. So it's a good tool if you use it correctly.
Yeah. And Tian's question also reminded me of an earlier comment by Professor Dennis Low in his panel, where he talked about if you don't write everything, your paper, bit by bit, so how do you find the source of creativity? And I think using AI extensively will become inevitable, but the way to differentiate different scientists, different users of AI would be where you can find your source of creativity. And another thing that I like to add is sometimes I tell my students is using AI is inevitable because it will save you time, it will save you a lot of effort, but then the differentiator would be about how do you use the time that you have saved. If you use it more wisely to develop yourself into something else that you wouldn't have had time to do, then it could make a big difference. Yeah. So I think as our panel, I think is getting to the latest stage, we're about to finish the discussion. I'd like to maybe ask one general question that I'd like all of our panelists to answer. This question is now because a lot of our students here are aspiring to pursue a future in science, technology, and innovation. What is your advice to them in terms of how they should equip themselves? Maybe starting with Kathy?
Actually, it has been mentioned several times in the various discussions and talks that we've had. But I think curiosity is really fundamental to initiating and maintaining your interest. And so curiosity, number one. Number two, thinking laterally and out of the box. Because that is to say, don't think that the path should go from A to B to C to D. You might take some detours and discover interest and passion that way. So it's sort of maybe a very vague answer, but it's basically saying that you build your interest not in a straight line, but maybe in a zigzag, and you might have to make U-turns. But just be curious and think out of the box and discover your passion. You have to be passionate about what you do in order, I think, to get satisfaction from taking up an interest or career in science.
Thank you. Carmen, please.
Thank you. So I'm going to say something else apart from curiosity, passion, and I think I would like to share two quotes. One English quote is by Winston Churchill: "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that determines the height of your research or your life." So I think in addition to curiosity and passion, I think it's the perseverance that really matters. And we have a lot of Chinese students here, so I will share another quote from Li Bai. 长风破浪会有时，直挂云海济沧海. Yeah, so I think that kind of round up what we need in order to excel. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, please.
For me, I have a little bit different perspective. I think at this stage when you're uncertain about what path you want to take on, don't compare yourself with others. Believe in what you're actually interested in. And in the long run, you would see the effect of your own hard work. So yeah, comparing yourself with the rest might just pull you down at the current stage. But if you persevere through your own interests, then it might lead to success.
Thank you. Zian?
So to have the same gender, like those are my classmates. My advice is you don't have to be afraid. I have heard one sentence that said, failure is a success. Like, you don't have to be afraid to fail because at least you tried. You know about the process. You can learn from failure. It's better than you have never participate in the process. So that's why I think when students, they have exacerbated moment like fail in tests or like experiments are just ruined up, sometimes we cried and we get our mark sheets like, oh my God, I failed again. And but I think the most important thing is you can take some time to reactivate yourself, but just keep in mind that time will shows the shine on you. If you really have the passion on, I think you can just do it without any fears, because the thing that the force that you pay in it, it will shows by time.
Thank you. So I hope with these advices from the 4 different generations, at least you find some of it helpful. And I don't know about you, but personally, I look forward to seeing in 10 years, 20 years, how each of them would have progressed and advanced to the next stage and beyond. So thank you again.
Thank you so much for insightful sharing. We invite all the guests to step forward to have a group photo together. Wow. Really precious opportunity to have 4 generations to share their thoughts, ideas, and then share about the next decade of science. Despite the challenge at hand, I see many opportunities on the horizon. And they share a lot of their advice and the wisdom. Then you can hear curiosity is always being the core value. Okay, so now please have a look to the center and also think out of the box. Discover your passion, being brave, believing yourself, and failure is the step to success. So I believe it will be helpful for you. Continue to have a look to the center, please. Wow. Thank you so much. May I now invite Professor Shum. Please remain on stage and proceed to the podium. For the other guests, please be seated. Now may I invite Professor Anderson Shum, President and founding member, Hong Kong Young Academy of Sciences, to deliver closing remarks to wrap up today's summit on behalf of the organizer. Professor Shum, please.
Thank you. Thank you for staying to the concluding remarks. I know that it's been a tiring day, so good afternoon. As we draw to the end of this 3rd Young Academy of Sciences Summit, I want to take this moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Your presence, your ideas, and your passion have made this summit truly memorable. Today, we have engaged in insightful discussions, witnessed groundbreaking ideas, and most importantly, build connections that will shape the future of science and technology in Hong Kong and beyond. This year, we are privileged to welcome many renowned scientists from the mainland, from Hong Kong, and from around the world. We also opened our doors to secondary school students, nurturing their curiosity and sharing our experiences to help them envision a future as scientists themselves. I must also extend a special thank you to our co-organizer, Tencent Foundation, for their invaluable support and partnership. Their commitment to fostering scientific advancements is deeply appreciated. I also want to sincerely thank the Innovation and Technology Commission, Commissioner is here, for their generous funding and unwavering belief in the power of innovation to drive Hong Kong forward as a global hub for science and technology. Also, let me thank the distinguished scientists from Chinese Academy of Sciences, the World Academy of Sciences, Academia Europaea, Royal Society, and the Hong Kong Academy of Sciences. Their perspectives on the global landscape of scientific development have given us a clear view of both the present state and the future directions of science worldwide. I also want to thank our Young Science Academies for their inspiring contributions. We have the Asian Young Scientist Network, the Global Young Academy, Thai Young Academy, Thai Young Scientist Academy, the UK Young Academy, the World Association of Young Scientists, and of course, our colleagues from the Hong Kong Young Academy of Sciences. Your energy and innovation drive science progress. Your stories also reminded us all just how vital young scientists are in shaping our future. In our 3rd section, we also brought together senior scientists, young scientists, postgraduate students, and secondary school students. So this intergenerational dialogue on the next decade of science was a true highlight in my view. It reminded us that the legacy we build today will be carried on by those who come after us. We all have a stake in the scientific future we are creating. Of course, this event would not have been possible without the steadfast support of our partner institutions, the dedication of our event management and PR teams, and the exceptional coordination provided by our Secretariat. Looking ahead, I'm excited to announce that our journey does not end here. Following this summit, we will host 3 sub-conferences in 2026. Each will focus on industries that will serve as engines of growth for Hong Kong's future. The first will take place on the 20th and 21st of March 2026, focusing on life and health technology, especially cardiovascular sciences and the latest cutting-edge technologies. To everyone gathered here today, scientists, students, participants, supporters, your work, your passion, and your dedication are the driving forces behind the progress we aspire to achieve. This summit has not only provided a platform for discussion, but it has also called us to action. I encourage each of you to take the knowledge, the inspiration, and the connections you have gained here today and use them to make a real and lasting impact in your respective fields. In closing, thank you to all the speakers, moderators, attendees, and every single person who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the success of this event. Of course, also to our audience online. Together, we have taken another important step towards establishing Hong Kong not only as a beacon of scientific excellence, but also collaboration, and also firm as an international innovation and technology hub. Thank you all once again. Before I finish, I'd like to also share with you that in the spirit of sustainability and seeding for the future, this name card that you have, you can actually dissolve it in water and it will give you some seed that you can plant. So symbolizing that we can seed today's knowledge to grow into something that you may not know what it will be in future. So you can give it a try. So I look forward to seeing you in our upcoming events, sub-conferences, and also to continuing the innovation and technology journey with you all. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Professor Shum. Thank you, and please be seated. Thank you very much. As the finale of today's summit, thank you once again for joining the Hong Kong Science Summit. I hope you enjoyed the program as much as I do. For those who will be joining the welcome dinner tonight, please remember to gather in front of the entrance now, as we have arranged a shuttle bus for you. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.